Mhm. Mhm. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mindset Monday. Today is Monday, May, is it 19th? 18th. Monday, May 19th. You see, the month is going so fast that I'm forgetting what day it is. It's Monday, May 19th. I hope you had a spectacular weekend, and I hope today was a productive one for you. If you were enjoying a leisure walk, I hope you had a good one. But we're here today to share again in our episodes, our season of abundance in service. Service to humanity. We are here to serve. And I'm so happy that you are joining us. And whether you may be watching this on the replay, I hope you will gather something of what will be said in this episode. Today we have a gentleman. You may have seen him on our platform before. He shared with us of his invention, and he will be here now to share what is service in his perspective in his long journey of giving of himself to humanity. Andrew Frankson is board approved national certification for therapeutic massage and bodywork, continuing education provider in massage therapy, and a clinical massage therapist licensed in New York and Connecticut. Is the creator, the author, and also has the copyright claimant of muscle fiber methodology, another methodology designed to rehabilitate and relax your muscles, and most importantly, prevent muscle imbalances within the body. We have Andrew Frankson, who will be sharing with us abundance in service today. Let's welcome Andrew Frankson. Thank you for joining us again, Andrew. It's always a pleasure having you on this platform and sharing with our viewers how they can live, experience, and give of service to humanity. So thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I know you have shared before, but why not just share with our viewers what is service in your perspective?
In my perspective, I would say services giving back, also helping along the way as much as you can, helping to enhance services so people can be better people. That's giving
Awesome.
back.
I know you've been giving back all your life, and if you could just share with us a little synopsis in sequence as to how you started giving service.
Well, started giving back in my hometown, the area where I grew up. I was it was a poor community, and I was lucky enough to, while I was working, to start my own company.
Hmm.
And with the
Tell us
funds
about that.
from, uh, repeat that?
Yeah, you started your own company.
Yes, I started my own company while working as an accountant. So the funds from that company I used to help kids in my neighborhood go to school. We would use that money to fix the roads, fix people's houses, their walls, their roofs. We used to do a lot of things with the monies that came in from that company. So with that money and that recognition, I was invited by the community police to ask me to be the vice president of a youth club.
Powerful.
And then people weren't going to the youth club because it was held at the police station. So what I did, I took that police youth club onto the ends, basically, into the community. And it turned out to be one of the largest club in the country at the time.
Wonderful. So in your estimation, because you were there to serve, you assisted in building the community. And now, because of your influence, that club has now enhanced many individuals. Now, as you share, what has become of many of those youths? Because I know you're in connection with many of them because your service did not just end, it continued.
Well, when I left the community, because I traveled and I moved to greener grass, well, basically, I try and improve on myself. So I moved out of that community. But most of the people or the youths of that community, I know a few of them came out to be policemen. There are a few that run their own businesses. There are a couple of them who are managers in companies. There's quite a few who elevated themselves from where they were, and they actually were able to lift themselves out of the community that they grew up in, and they are now active servants within Jamaica.
Wonderful. So Andrew Frankson, someone who was therefore giving of his service, abundance in service, and there the ripple effect. Now share with us some of those ripples as you transition to different areas of your service.
So transition is a lot of transition. So when I came to the States, I my first thought process was to become a truck driver, and because I love to drive, so
Hmm.
I was going to hit the road. But then I think God had other plans for me because everything was turned up on his head. So with he guided me back into service
All right.
because while I was an accountant back in Jamaica, I did massage therapy just for the fun of it.
Okay.
That was in 1994. I did that just for the fun of it while still working as an accountant. And when I came here, still practicing, but I was working with one of these distributing companies for a couple of years. And I got tired of the cubicle again, and I was directed to go back into massage full time. And that's what I did in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Then, after going to school, I got a bad experience from what they call sports massage.
Okay.
It was a very painful scenario for me. I don't
Do
know
you want
about
to share that scenario? Why was it painful?
because with sports massage they tend to do a lot of deep work, a lot of elbows and forearms, and it was painful. So maybe I didn't have the tolerance for it, or but right then and then in my opinion, there it couldn't be. I could be the only person who thinks like that, getting a therapy like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was again directed by a higher power to create my own thing. So I use the theories of massage about the body anatomy, the physiology, the neurology, the pathology, combined all of those together and created muscle fiber methodology. Now bear in mind, that I'm somebody who don't like reading, and I
Mm-hmm.
wrote a book on muscle fiber methodology. So as I
Interesting.
so as I said, I was directed. Okay, as far as I see, this has nothing to do with me. This is something of a higher power.
So
So
God directed you to your purpose because based on what you shared, you were given service in many different areas, but each time you were redirected in this capacity. And now we are actually experiencing the fruit of your labor, the fruit of serving in that capacity and bringing it to fruition. So God had a purpose, and that purpose was fulfilled. Now, tell us how the muscle fiber methodology enhances your service to humanity.
well, currently how massage is taught, especially in the Caribbean, massage is taught as a way of relaxing people, relaxing muscles. And a lot of people look at massage as either rub down, waste of money. Some people consider it as a feel up, as we say in Jamaica.
Rub down
And
or feel up.
exactly, yes, a rub down or a feel up. And there's a lot more to massage therapy and what it can do for us. Now,
Before
what
you before you start explaining your aspect, share with me why they classify it as a rub down or a feel up.
because normally massage that is offered is either two kind, is either deep massage, sports, or Swedish massage. Now, Swedish
Okay.
massage is a lighter, long stroke massage that triggers a relaxing feeling. So there's nothing wrong with it, depending on what you want from your that type of service.
Mm-hmm.
People that do deep work is because that's all most of them are exposed to, and a lot of
Okay.
time them themselves after the session will state how painful it was, and yeah, there's most of the time is never nothing good coming from it.
So they need a massage after giving a massage.
They need a massage after getting a massage because sometimes they're left in pain in certain scenarios. So I don't do Swedish massage. As a man, I don't do light touch. I don't do
Okay.
painful touch either. I do not do Swedish massage. Okay. So with because of the terminology, I know people look at massage once they hear massage and feel touch up, feel up. I don't use the word massage in anything that I do, just because I'm talking about it now. But I use the
Mm-hmm.
meaning of massage, which is to manipulate. So what I do is manipulate muscle fibers.
Manipulate muscle fibers.
Yes. So
Okay.
we all have imbalances. We all have a muscle imbalance. Every one of us. And over a period of time, this imbalance creates problems in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll explain again. If you are right handed, you're going to elevate your right hip and right shoulder naturally. You're going to lean to your left side naturally to free up the right side so you can use it effectively. So just because we have a dominant side, we all have an imbalance because we are shifting our body weight, shortening muscles on one side of the lower body and shortening muscles on the other side and the upper body to accommodate our dominant side. So a lot of things can happen from that. And one of the crazy one is that if you're right-handed, which you should have a left elevated hip, if you're right-handed but have an elevated left hip, the possibility exists you will develop scoliosis just by simple doing that. A lot of people nowadays have scoliosis not because they were born with it, but because of how we use our bodies.
So the imbalance in the body causes certain illnesses.
Yes. So when we hold our body in a certain way, on a constant, on a daily basis, the muscles contract to support us. So if we lean to one side constantly, the muscles are going to pull on one side to support you leaning to that side. And the opposite side, those muscles are going to relax to support the side that is contracted, which will lead to all kind of imbalances.
Well, so that's okay.
Okay, so it is that simple. We all have an imbalance and we need to acknowledge that. None of us is perfect, no matter those gym junkies, whatever. They all have imbalances.
You hear that, viewers? We all have imbalances because we have a dominant side. And in order to, as you said, in order to compensate, we lean to the opposite side, right?
Yes. It's a natural, it's something we do naturally from child growing up. Even if you're ambidextrous, you do have a side that you favor more to use, and you will compensate accordingly.
This question in my is muscle massage. I know you don't use that word. Is muscle massage different from lymphatic massage?
Yes, lymphatic drainage is to encourage the body's fluid to flow through the system effectively. Because if there's no flow, if there's any stagnation or lack of flow in the body's fluid, it will create problem in the body. Fluids need to flow smoothly from place to place throughout our bodies to keep the body working the way it should. Especially after surgery, lymph can be disrupted, and then there are therapists that are trained to help that lymph move through the system. Because we have different ducts in the body that lymphs pass through that need to be emptied in. So yes, it is a different type of methodology. Now, my methodology has to do with working with the muscle fibers. Now, each muscle does more than one action. Depending on how you use your body, different fibers contract accordingly. If you use your body constantly one way every day, certain fibers within a muscle will be tighter than others.
Mm.
And that can have muscles feeling ropey and tight. And what I do, depending on how you use your body, I will move your body part in different angles, different positions to target these muscle fibers, to lengthen them and relax them.
So what happened to like soldiers who are trained to stand um at a certain position, attention, for a long period of time? How help me understand?
There's nothing to understand. They all have imbalances. They all have pain. They all
The,
experience pain. Everybody experiences pain at different
mm-hmm,
levels.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes it can be subtle. Sometimes it's, well, pain is a weird thing. The body whispers and then it screams. When it is subtle, we tend to ignore it because it didn't stop us in our track. We might feel a little cramping, but because we continue moving, it might stop a little. But it could be leading up to something bigger, and we tend to ignore these simple, or should I say, subtle hints from our bodies that we need to listen to.
The whispers.
The whispers. Because the next time the body the body whispers and then it screams. There's no
Mm-hmm.
in between. So how we use our body, we tend to shorten muscles constantly. What we forget to do is have the muscles to lengthen. So stretching, manipulation is two important things that is needed on a regular basis. Because most people don't stretch. And then most people who stretch don't really know how to stretch properly.
Okay, so as we're at this point, giving some service now. So just show me, since I'm standing now, how do I stretch properly?
Okay, so a good stretch for your shoulder because you have a, right now looking at you, you have an elevated right shoulder,
So
which
you know
means,
I'm left-handed.
and I'm telling you, you have a, I don't know if it's how you're sitting, but you currently have an elevated right shoulder, but you're a lefty.
Yes, I'm
The
a lefty.
possibility exists that your spine is going to curve according to how you're holding your body, leading to
Oh,
scoliosis.
so how do I alleviate that now?
Correct.
How do I stand? How do I correct that?
Okay, so one of the things we need to do is each muscle does different actions. We need
Mhm.
to use the body according to how the muscles are designed.
Okay.
So the muscles are designed to do flexion and extension and rotation. So let me explain. Flexion and extension is walking, running, jumping, sitting, all those things that you do on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the other action that we don't do is rotation.
Okay.
Okay? When you rotate a body part, every muscle that does flexion and extension has to relax to support rotation.
Oh.
Most people do not rotate.
So what
Simple
is
doing some backstrokes is rotation,
oh you said?
which just simple, it loosens up the shoulder. So every time you go back and up, you stretch your chest muscle. You contract the muscles in the back, which are being pulled down by the pec muscle. So you're encouraging them to get stronger. And every time you rotate, you're stretching, contracting, stretching, contracting. Every time your arm comes down, you're stretching the muscles in the upper shoulder. When it
Ah.
goes up, you're stretching your pec muscle. So simple as sitting down and doing this, adding rotation to the spine every muscle that's attached to the spine has to relax to support your body rotating while sitting down.
So is it that's why they say swimming is one of is
One
what
of the
a best
best exercise ever.
exercise?
Yes.
Oh,
Because you use a lot more muscles and then your body, you're not just flexing and extending. You have to rotate to support whatever style of swimming that you're doing.
boy, Andrew, you're really service servant, a servant in all different capacity, and giving of service in abundance. I feel it already as I'm stretching. So let me ask you another question. What about riding? Is riding is one of those flexing or
Riding is flexion
rotating?
and extension. Most
Or
riders have weak glute muscles, weak butt muscles, and that can
uh,
lead to other problems. Because riding makes you have a strong quad, strong hamstrings. But if your butt muscles is weak, when the hamstrings get too tight, there's no cushioning to stop the pressure from your hamstrings to your back. And
mm,
that can lead to back problems. So if you're a rider, I'll recommend you do a lot of butt exercises to strengthen your glutes so that you support your back.
okay, so how is that butt exercise now?
Well, it's quite simple. You can lie on your bed face down um, and lift one leg about 2 inches off the bed and hold it.
Okay.
It fires your your glute muscles just to hold it there. One of the reasons why we need strong glute muscles also is that there are deeper butt muscles that can become problematic if we don't have strong glute muscles to support them. Now, people with sciatic problems, sciatica,
Mm-hmm.
one of the muscles that compresses that nerve is the deep butt muscles. So we, when we sit a lot with our knees apart, which we do naturally for balance, we sit with our knees apart naturally. Once the knees move from center, it's called lateral rotation. The muscles that do that action are your deep butt muscles.
Mm.
So since you're constantly sitting down, you're constantly shortening those muscles. And one of
Oh.
those muscles is the piriformis. And when it gets too tight, it will compress the sciatic nerve that crosses under it. So my giving back, my service is to educate people accordingly. So people can start looking after themselves, do what is necessary to make that change in their life to be better individuals.
Service to the T, man. Service to the T, because just the little of what the rotation, now you're prompting me to enroll in swimming.
That works. Hear me. The body was designed to move. It was not designed to stand up or just sit down or be in one place. We need to be kids from all the way up to whenever we die. We just need to be kids. We need to move.
Keep moving, Miriam. Keep
And
moving.
when I say kids, I mean kids from back then, because kids nowadays, they sit behind a computer or in front of the gaming system and they stay there all day.
Powerful. Nancy said, especially for nurses. She said, I take the massage every month, but I think I need more. I need it more often. What do you think? How many times a month we supposed to do it?
So my question to her would be like, with the massage, do you do your homework? Do you stretch? Are you active? Are you using your muscles effectively? Because if you have an imbalance, when I work with a client with an imbalance, I always recommend 3 to 5 sessions consecutively to eliminate the problem that is going on in with the client. Then after that, once a month for maintenance, depending on what is going on with that client.
Powerful. Someone was asking also, is massage or is muscle fiber methodology a stress reliever?
So muscle fiber massage is to relax the nervous system, relax the muscles. Once you relax the nervous system, it will help to release the muscle for that time, that period. But what happens is that people go back to their daily lives, their daily routine once they leave there. So everything that they did to shorten those muscles, immediately when they get up from a relaxing massage, it can trigger tightness again.
Mhm.
So when it comes to muscle fiber manipulation or muscle fiber methodology, it's all about correcting an imbalance. So muscle fiber methodology rehabilitates, relaxes, but more important to me, it helps to prevent muscle imbalances within the body.
So it rehabilitates, it relaxes, it
And
but it
prevents.
and prevents.
Most importantly, to prevent imbalances. Because a good therapist that is trained, has the knowledge of the anatomy and physiology, should be looking at the body as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So if you come to me and you tell me that you have a pain in your low back on the right side, I'm going to look at you and observe you, and I should be able to tell you every muscle that might be shortening, that might need lengthening, that we need to work on, and come up with a treatment plan before I even put my hand on you. So it's a more clinical way of looking at the body and treating the body.
It's not an isolation, but in the holistic approach.
Holistic, and I mean WHOLE is stick.
Capital.
Okay. So yeah, we need to look at the body as a whole, and we treat it accordingly. Because as I say, you're righty, but you have an you're lefty, but you have an elevated right shoulder. That is something the therapist need to see. That you just go on the table and they go and they do their thing and you get up.
So
Okay.
if I'm a lefty, I should have an elevated left shoulder.
You should have an elevated left shoulder, yes.
I'm more ambidextrous. Is it that? But my dominant side is left.
Okay, and what could happen? The next question I would ask you: have at any time have you hurt anything on your right? Have you stubbed your right toe? Do you have a right knee issue, right hip issue? Because those simple things can force you into a compensating position. So I would
I,
ask questions to find out if you have had any past injury that could have triggered an elevated right shoulder, although you're a lefty.
well, I broke my is it what was it my left hand or my right hand? I broke my right hand. I don't remember which one of them when I was younger. I I, I broke one of them. I don't remember. But I guess I need to sit with you to have an entire assessment done. That's where the service comes in. So if we weren't having this talk of your abundance in service with your muscle fiber methodology, these questions would not materialize.
Definitely. And one of the things that people should know is that with muscle fiber methodology, there are different aspects of the methodology. And one of them is passive stretching.
Passive,
So, passive stretching.
okay. And
So,
what is
with
that?
passive stretching, we still use stretches to correct imbalances. So, you're fully dressed. You don't
Mm-hmm.
even need to take your clothes off. And I can correct a frozen shoulder with you fully dressed.
Mm.
I can correct tight muscles in your deep butt with you fully dressed. But there's some people that do stretches. They call it passive, but it's not really passive. Reason being is that there are certain aspects of the body that they do not take into consideration.
Okay.
So with what they call a passive stretch is them taking you through a stretch and you feel the burn and you think that's what it should be. But no. Once you feel the burn, it means that you have taken the muscle too far.
Mm.
Now, the body has certain sensory organs that protects the muscles from either too much contraction or too much lengthening. If you stretch a muscle too far, passing the end feel, it's going to send the sensory organ, which is called the muscle spindle, is going to
Mm-hmm.
send a message to the brain that a muscle is being stretched too far. So what the
Mm.
brain is going to do is tell that muscle to contract, to do the
Oh.
opposite to what you're trying to do. So when you start feeling the burn, it's no longer a stretch. It's now a contraction. So a lot of people think when they're taken through a stretch and they feel the burn and the pull, it's a wonderful stretch. It's not.
So instead of a stretch, it's actually a contraction.
You are contracting the muscle. The body is protecting itself from you taking it too far. And if you're still going through the motion while the
Mhm.
body's contracting, that's where the burn comes in. And we were trained back then that if you don't feel the burn, it's not a good stretch or your workout wasn't good.
Mm.
When you work out and you shorten a muscle too much, what the other sensory organ is called the Golgi tendon organ. So when you shorten a muscle too much, it tells the brain the muscle is too short, and the brain tells the muscle to relax. So while you're there pushing it and you're feeling the burn, you're actually damaging the muscle by pushing it past its end feel. Now, there are situations where people all of a sudden they feel weak.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to the PT to strengthen. I would call that normally when I hear it is rubbish because muscles don't just get weak just like that.
So it's over time.
The body will protect itself. So if
Mm.
you overwork a muscle, overuse a muscle, constantly shortening that muscle, the brain is going to tell that muscle to relax.
Mm. So therefore, most gym and training sports trainers, they're actually doing the wrong thing in damaging or they are not doing the correct thing.
What I would say is that they're not following the anatomy and physiology of the body.
They are not following the anatomy and physiology of the body.
Exactly.
So, in order to be in equilibrium, we need to make sure that if we're stretching and once we feel the burn, that's the time we stop.
We do less. Less is
Do
always
less,
more.
or less is always more.
You can work out instead of bench pressing um, 200 pounds, doing it 5 times. You bench press 20 pounds, doing it 20 times. That 20
Mm,
pounds is going to feel like a ton at 20. Less is more.
less is more.
Less weight, more reps.
Less weight, more reps.
Yep.
Service. So,
So it's all about knowing the body, and I think anybody who is in service of the body needs to know what the body is about, what the body can do, cannot do.
As I'm paying attention, now I see that my right shoulder is actually a little bit elevated. I'm seeing the picture now. You
So
you are very, at your servant. You're very good in your craft because you were able to identify. Now I'm seeing it. I didn't see it before. So I have some work to do.
yes, you need to, because as I say, you will curve your spine just because of that. Your spine is going to curve to accommodate your holding pattern, and that will lead to back pain. Depending on what is happening with the curvature, it can reduce the space around your lungs. Breathing can be less. A number of stuff can happen just because of an imbalance in your body. Simple muscle
Mm,
imbalance.
mm. As we are enjoying this talk, I know you wrote a book, and what prompted you or what inspired you to write the book? And what is the book all about? That's so
So
many
the
questions in one.
The book is a textbook. It shows the step-by-step routine of how to do the methodology. It's a specific routine that I use to assist with all kind of imbalances. All kind of imbalance. Everyone that you can think about that is muscular, that simple routine can address it. Simple road, just using the body according to the actions of the muscle. And all you have to do is tweak certain aspects of it, because that is just the basic routine.
Mm-hmm.
But the more clinical aspect is you have to step out of the box with the knowledge of the body, and then you make sure that you apply it accordingly.
So your advice, if someone is has a sitting job for, I think it was Nancy, she was talking about, she sits in front of the computer for, is it 6 to 7 hours? So the person do mostly everything while, she said the person do mostly everything while she's laying down for her massage. So she sits 6 to 7 hours and then she lays down for the massage. Now,
Yes,
what how can you assist someone who has a sitting job 6, 7 hours per day?
simple. Just gently pull your abs in.
Huh?
Just gently pull your abs in.
Gentle pull your abs in.
Yeah,
But
so
it's
you
sitting
don't
or
pull it in to stop your breath. You gently pull your abs in, and what happens is that your chest naturally rises. Your shoulders naturally fall back and down just by pulling your abs in.
okay, so I demonstrate.
So just while you're standing, just gently pull your abs in.
Okay.
It's going to
Yeah.
force you into proper alignment.
Yeah, I feel it.
And once you practice it, it naturally realigns you just by pulling your abs in. Your abs is the only thing that protects your back, and you do not need a six pack.
So I don't need a six pack. So I
You
just
don't need
need
a
to.
six pack. Six pack is just a show muscle. The rectus abdominals, once you train them properly, they look good. But there's a lot of people with six pack and bad backs.
Six pack.
I know quite a few people, quite a few gym junkies, and they're dying.
They have six pack and no back.
They have bad backs. I know one that he pushes people to do a lot of push up and weight training, but his entire upper body he's in pain.
Mm.
But yet still he's encouraging people to do the things that he did to be in the pain that he's in now, which is doesn't make sense to me.
So the important thing is for us to be good steward of this one vessel that God has given to us to fulfill the purpose that we were created for. So
Yes,
as you are serving us this evening, helping us to realign our bodies so we can show up,
and
we
show
can
out.
show out, give service uh, in abundance. Now, I know in a previous interview you shared that you do workshops, and it is, I know viewers, it's time for us to get our body in shape, in line, aligned, so we can give service. So tell us a little bit about the workshops and other work you have in the pipeline.
Okay, so I am board approved to teach my methodologies in the US.
Mm-hmm.
I am NCB TMB board approved. So I offer CEs, continuing education, to people who will need CE hours or people who want to learn another way of correcting imbalances.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of my work is done in Jamaica. I've been to Trinidad and Barbados, and I have classes here also. I actually have one this weekend in Connecticut, Westport, Connecticut.
So
Then,
can someone who is interested in getting their CPE hours, they join that class this weekend, or is it
yes,
filled
this
already?
weekend is the passive stretching workshop. This weekend it's a 6 CE hour workshop, and it's on this weekend. I'll be heading to Jamaica in June to do some other workshops there. And I have been invited to do a presentation for a major school there also to tell them about my methodologies and what I have to offer. So I'm preparing for that also. Well, I'm ready for it.
And then
Just
Nancy's asking how we connect with you. Nancy, if you text him or if you text him, the information is in the YouTube. Everything is there. You text him how he would every all of the information is there, how to connect with him. But of course, you text him first and let him know who you are, and then he will contact you. There was I was gonna ask a question, but I interrupted your train. So continue.
yeah. So I'll be doing a retreat, doing a presentation. I'm hoping to get in so I can start educating massage therapists how to work effectively with physiotherapists and doctors. Because my dream is to see all these professions work as one unit for the benefit of the client. Now, currently, because of how massage therapists are being trained in the Caribbean, they're lacking in certain, what should I say, exposure
Mm-hmm.
with the sciences. They don't have the experience where they can help somebody clinically. A lot of them are good with their hands to relax you.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, they touch you, you fall asleep immediately. That's how good they are. But if somebody has, like, say, scoliosis, and they
Mm-hmm.
develop scoliosis, that can be corrected.
Okay.
If you were born with it, that's a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you develop scoliosis over a period of time, there are stretches and manipulation that can correct the muscles that are causing the spine to turn.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is to educate people accordingly, because if you put all the PTs, massage therapists, doctors together, we cannot, all of us together cannot help all the people that we need to help. Not
Mm.
possible. So the more people that can learn how to see these imbalances and help to correct them accordingly, the better that we can live a healthier life. When it comes to my workshop, I train massage therapists, physiotherapists, I've had a doctor, I've had people from all walks of life coming to my workshop. So you don't have to be a massage therapist. And because I offer CEs, it's beneficial to physiotherapists and anybody who needs continuing education to get back their license, or to help them, to get back their license basically. Because most of them ask for CEs. You have to be actively continuing your education in whatever field that you're in.
Definitely. So it's not just for retention of license, but also for people who want to get back their body in balance, in
Yes.
equilibrium.
Yep. So for CEs to learn something to help your clients, sometimes I've had couples that come to the passive stretching class just to learn how to stretch each other. Just to learn how to stretch, because the method is designed where there's no pain.
Mm-hmm.
There is pressure, but never pain. If there's pain, that means that the therapist or myself is doing something wrong.
Okay.
When I'm done with you, no matter how tight your body is, when I tell my clients straight up, if when I'm done, your muscles don't shake like a baby's butt, I didn't do a good job. So I don't care how stiff you are, tough you are. When I put my hand on you and do this, that muscle should shake. No pain, no unnecessary pressure. But it's just a matter of how you manipulate the muscle fibers.
Muscle fiber manipulation.
Yes.
Now, you just shared how to rotate, and I'm rotating. So for someone who stands most of the time to deliver, how would they, of course, the hands you rotate, but how would you rotate the
Rotate your hips. Rotate
oh,
your hips. You see,
okay.
some people, conservatives are too conservative. You need to widen your hip. Let me tell you straight up. Yes.
And
Reason being,
rotate.
once you rotate your hips, every
Mm-hmm.
muscle that's attached to your pelvic bones have to relax to support rotation. And I
Oh,
always recommend it lying down and doing
okay.
it slow.
Okay. Okay.
Because when you stand up and rotate, most of the time the rotation is at your knee or ankle and upper back, not at the hips.
Okay.
But if you're lying on your back and focusing on your hip going around in a circle, then you're targeting specific muscles of the hip and low back. Even your hamstrings and quads have to relax to support the rotation of your hips. And you do it in both directions.
Okay. Left to right and then right to
So
left.
you do about 10 in one direction, 10 in the
Mm-hmm.
other direction. And that will help to eliminate back pain, hip
Mm-hmm.
pain, hamstring problem, quads problem, just by rotating your hips. Rotating your foot at your ankle before you jump out of your bed encourages blood down into the muscle so you're not stiff when you stand up.
Ah.
Just by rotating your foot at the ankle brings blood down to your legs so you're not cramping when you stand up. So it has
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with age. When you
Okay.
lay down to sleep, the blood pools around your midsection in your
Mm-hmm.
torso to keep your organs warm.
Okay.
That's why a lot of people are stiff when they get up.
Mm-hmm.
So it has nothing to do with age. It has to do with blood flow. Because as soon as they start moving, then the stiffness goes away.
True.
Because there's no blood circulating in the muscles to create contraction of the muscles to create flexion and extension.
So service to the body, these are just some simple little things that can help to enhance this vessel that we move around to do whatever we need to do. So if we give service to this vessel, we can get up and serve humanity and give of our best that God will say, well done, in whatever capacity that we serve. He will say, well done, thou good and faithful servant. But first, we need to take care of this vessel that He has given to us, He has entrusted to us so we can serve.
Yes,
Now,
rotate your shoulders, rotate your hips. Loosen up, take care of your body.
viewers,
Backstrokes, freestyle.
if you're standing viewers, you can do if you can do a little rotation. If you're sitting, you can do a little rotation. And you can lie down on your back and do a little rotation of the hips and
Yes,
do a little rotation of the ankles before you get up. It's simple, but if we are not practicing this, it doesn't become, usual, customary, or, constant. So
practice to become
simplicity,
perfect.
practice becomes perfect. So do the little backstroke and the, what you call the front one?
Freestyle.
Freestyle.
Yep. And that
So,
alone adds rotation to your back, front, everything loosens up in order for you to just simply do that. It increases range of motion of the arm just by doing simple back strokes. If your hand cannot go straight up, just take your arm just over your forehead or in front of your forehead.
okay, and it still provides that sort
Yes,
for
and it will have to break up anything, any adhesion in the shoulder. If you don't have full range of motion, you can get back full range of motion just by starting here.
ah,
Eventually, you'll be able to go higher until your arm can go straight up.
powerful. I feel good. Now, in our final moments, just give us a little summary. I know you'll be coming back because they're already asking. Just give us a little summary of your abundance in service.
My abundance in service is still going on. My service is to educate other professionals to help our fellow citizens of this world. I hope to travel and teach so the service continues. I hope to travel the world teaching though.
Awesome. And how will you, well, you said you'll be traveling to teach. So is this how you will multiply yourself or
Yes,
expand your, okay.
exactly.
Well, Andrew, it has been a pleasure of mine to have you, and I'm sure, based on the information that you have shared with us and the communication that we're receiving from our viewers, it has been a wonderful time that you have shared, and I have actually gotten some things already that I can work with while I am doing my show, whether sitting or standing. And I think one of the things I should incorporate, or I will be incorporating, is a little few seconds of, let's just stand and rotate. He Or you can sit and rotate. Do the backstroke or the
Freestyle. Any
freestyle.
rotation, you're gonna feel it in your back, front. You're gonna loosen up. It is any rotation is good. We need to do a lot more rotation.
And the rotation of the.
Not that aggressive. Come on, stop it. Just
Okay. Oh,
simple to the side, back to front, next side. Because if you do it that fast, if you already have tight muscles, you might get a
mhm.
spasm.
Okay. So
Always
slowly.
stay in control of the movement.
Okay.
Be in
Control.
control all the time.
Mm, okay.
That's the speed. Yes, control the movements.
Control is like a divine dance.
Exactly.
Andrew, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Viewers, thank you for watching. And for those who will be watching the replay, the information is in the YouTube description to connect with Andrew and to experience your body returning to equilibrium with the muscle fiber methodology. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you for having me.
Viewers, thank you for viewing this session, and we are looking forward to seeing you. Remember to subscribe and hit notification all so you will not miss anything that goes on this channel. Thank you. Now, thank you for watching another episode of Mindset Monday.